Hello, I'm Matt Williamson. What's shaking? Beautiful day here, a little hot, but we are in the middle of summer, middle of the dog days, and I'm going to sound redundant, but I just can't get this off my noodle right now. Of every layer of this onion that I unpeel, it seems like every 24 hours I take another layer of the onion off. About just how terrible the Pittsburgh Steelers started games last year. Unbelievable. So I got some more numbers, some more comments, and then I'll probably drop it. But I knew it wasn't good. I knew it wasn't good in week 10, but I didn't think it was to this degree. So how about this? On the Steelers' opening drives, first time they get the ball on offense, Pittsburgh's opponents scored more touchdowns than the Steelers. On their own opening drives last year, the opponents scored more touchdowns than the Steelers did. 17 games, 17 first times holding the football, 0 touchdowns. And they happened to throw a pick six on one of them. So they allowed a touchdown, didn't score any in their 17 opening drives. Now, I'm cherry picking that a little bit, They happened to throw a pick six. I mean, it's not like they were, well, I guess they were negative point differential, -6 in terms of -7 in terms of first drives. But it just happens that they happen to throw a pick. The big thing here is 17 straight opening drives without a touchdown. Horrendous. I mean, you have to blame, again, for all this stuff, the weekly prep. In this particular case, you have to discuss the scripted plays of the offense and the offensive play caller. And I will say this, though. There are two sides to every coin. The side of the coin defending the Steelers here is still not good. It's pretty terrible. But when scripting plays, and I put that in quotes, a lot of what that is in the league is I'm going to throw a variety of things out at you. 13 personnel. This particular motion. Wow, something that they haven't seen on tape before. Just to gather the data for later in the game, because if I kind of know you didn't practice that on defense, there's only a series of checks that the defense has. Oh, we're going to go to cover 2. Okay, so the next time out there, maybe in the second quarter, you put that same play out there and you run a cover 2 beater. And as we've been talking about all week, the second, third, fourth quarters have been better than the first on both sides of the ball. But still, and I don't mind so much about the pick six, but you're still 0 for 17 in touchdowns the first time you touch the football. With a fresh team, ready to play, all revved up. BetOnline is the world's most trusted betting platform and your number one source for all your sports betting action. With baseball season in full swing, and BetOnline has more ways to stay in on the action with the latest odds, news, and scores, even live in-game betting while the games are being played. We keep the dog days of summer rolling with the largest selection of odds on everything. Updated odds on the MLB, UFC, and boxing, the tennis, and NFL futures. BetOnline remains the best online source for all your sports wagering info. In between games, head over to the BetOnline Casino with all the top Vegas-style games, including poker and live casino. BetOnline, the game starts here. So again, I keep digging in here. And I think I told you this yesterday, that just in the first quarter, the Steelers produced 2.7 points on average, just in the first quarter. 29th. Pretty terrible. They allowed 6.6. Dead last. So I decided, I built a cute little spreadsheet with what teams have the best and worst first quarter point differential. So on average, the best team in the league was the Green Bay Packers. So on average, when the first quarter buzzer ends and they go to commercial, the Packers are winning by 3.2 points. Minnesota's plus 2.9, Tampa's 2.8. Your Baltimore Birdies are 2.6, as are the Chargers. The Bengals, surprisingly, 2.3. Niners, 2.2. Those are the best teams. Those are all the positive teams when the first quarter ends on average. Now, I would imagine it doesn't surprise you that the Steelers are really terrible in this metric. Some of the other really bad ones. Carolina is minus 2.1. Dallas, minus 2.2. Dak Prescott missed a lot of time. Surprisingly, the Rams, a really good team, on average, when the first quarter buzzer ended, were losing by 3 points. The Giants, terrible team, minus 3.3. But the two worst are the Bears, minus 3.8, and your Pittsburgh Steelers at minus 3.9. It's brutal. Because also, if you think about the makeup of this team, they're not unlike, I know the Bengals were in the positive, but if the Bengals were in the negative, you'd be like, okay, Burrow will make it up. They'll throw it all over the yard. Well, the Steelers definitely are not equipped to play that way. They're a invest in defense, run the football, borderline quarterback play. Fast starts are extremely important. Playing with a lead, take a lead into halftime, etc. You're losing by a wider margin after the first quarter than any team in the league last year. Really bad. I have touched on a lot of this week. I just can't get enough of it because, again, every layer of the onion is smellier and stinkier than the last one. So the last thing I have for you on this, and I'm not going to promise because it's sticking with me to say the least. So what I did was I sorted all the quarterbacks that just their first half EPA. And so 100 or 45 different quarterbacks played at least 100 snaps in the first half of games last year. So 45 qualifiers, right? Strangely, this shocked me quite a bit. Justin Fields' first half EPA was 13th best out of 45. 13th best. Russell Wilson, on the other hand, was 34th best. And the names behind him are bad football players. I mean, these are guys that shouldn't be in games, backups, etc., etc. Aaron Rodgers was 28th. Now, I'm not saying, they let Fields go. That was a golden opportunity to start faster. I don't know. Maybe his running had something to do with it. I don't know. Maybe he gets figured out as the game goes on. I don't know. But I just know Wilson was really bad in the first half of games. Like, really amongst the very worst of true starting quarterbacks in the league. Rodgers wasn't much better. I could explain that away with his supporting cast and especially early in the season woes. But I'm not here to make excuses for Rodgers either. But I bet it's better. See what I'm saying? That's all I got through today. I'll try to get off this horse about these early season early game awful performances by this football team that really does lend itself to what's going on with the prep during the week. But again, as the game goes on, they produce better and halftime adjustments are good, but it's a weakness right now that has to be addressed. And that's why I keep harping on it. All right, guys, take care.